Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. How we all doing? Just quickly want to say thank you guys for the support on the videos yesterday. Y'all were going crazy on the move video, which is nice, or the showcasing moves video. This video is going to be within a similar kind of topic, which is PvP. I know a lot of people in this game struggle with PvP. A lot of people are sweats and a lot of people are bad, so I feel like there's a huge gap between the average player and a PvPer. So I'm gonna let you guys in on some tips. So the first thing is your dashes, right? They've made it so your dashes don't come back as fast, making the fight more slow paced. Since the game is more slow paced and your dashes don't respawn as or come back as fast, means you can't just use them up all the time. They're extremely important for PvP. So why are your vanishes important? The reason is you can do this. That's the reason. You can M2 dash or M2 vanish, right? That's the reason they're so important, because you can also do it without vanishing, just normal dashes. But that's the reason they're so important, is because you can cover a lot of space and guard break someone who plays extremely passive. Now, like I said, they don't respawn as fast or come back as fast anymore, so you gotta save them. Now, how are you able to save them without being punished for it? And that is by, for example, using your normal dashes to cover space instead of always using your... But this is not only a offensive mechanic, you can also use this for defense. And how do you do that? Let's say this bot is vanishing towards me. You can use this to vanish behind and not get hit by his M2 vanish. So this is super important. Going left, going right, going behind. And going forward, these are super important, guys. It is a necessity to getting good at PvP. Using these are super important, especially now after the vanish nerf. Now, I'm no pro at PvP, I'll just put that out there, but I am, I'd say, above average. So that's basically it for the vanishes. Make sure you use the normal dashes as well, and not only spam your vanishes and run out, because then you are cooked if the other person has them. Another very important thing that is kind of cheesy is your key blasts are super important, guys. You can use them both in offense and in defense. Again, how you use them in defense is by stunning your players, because these actually stun a lot. So let's say this dummy here is block spamming and not really doing anything. You can key blast a lot so he doesn't really see. He's blinded by the smoke, and then you M2 dash, right? Also, let's say you're low on key or you're low on health and he's being very aggressive. You can key blast to slow him down, right? And get a bit of distance between you and the player. So how do you use key blasts? I'd honestly say between every dash, between every vanish, just constantly be using your key blasts, because they stun the players. These are the most important thing when it comes to PvP, and that is your key blast. They are super important. Let's say this dummy vanishes toward me. I vanish back to not get hit, key blast, and then vanish back in. So I vanish out, stun him, and then M2 vanish. So key blasts are super important. Always be using your key blast. They are really effective in PvP. Also, they kind of work in PvE. Not as good, obviously, but they do still work kind of. Now, the next thing that is important in PvP is combos. Yes, combos are super important. Your loadout, your moveset, whatever you want to call it, is super important. Now, this is the loadout I use. So all of these skills have a different objective and do something different for me. So we can start off by Dragon Twin Fist and Telekinetic Grab. These are used for, this is one specific combo. Right, this is one combo. So that's the reason I have them. Z Vanish is a evasive that is really good because you teleport behind them. You can do it mid combo, teleport behind them, you're ready to attack again. Strong Punch is just for a guard break against, you know, really passive players who block spam, and it does a little bit of damage. So that's just a guard break move. The Big Bang Kamehameha is something I use not that often, but you know, it does decent damage. Let's say you fling him, you don't really have anything else to use, you'll use that to get some extra damage in. Final blow is a kinda just combo starter, I'd say. You know, you're running around and then it's kinda, it's kinda hard to see if your opponent is not really paying attention. You can land it pretty easily. It does a decent amount of damage. So you're going to be landing this quite often. Now the next thing is launcher. That is a combo extender. So full M1 string, launcher, into the, for example, final blow, follow up with a fling. You know, that's basically launcher's objective, is just a combo extender. Now Punisher Drive is literally a just damage doing move. This is only for damage. Double launcher is another combo extender, but it's longer, so you can kind of finish it or do it with other combo extenders. And instant rise is another evasive. So I'll show you in practicality how you can actually use these moves. So let's say I'm M1ing, launcher, Punisher Drive, double launcher. You know, there's a lot you can do with it. That is the next tip. Have a good move set. It is super important. Having a good loadout. Just try a lot of different moves. Come in here, see what moves you can combo with, see what you can do. And that is actually my next point, is combos. Combos are super important. And what do I mean by combos? For example, this is a combo, right? But you can do them a lot differently. So I'll show you on this dummy here. Be creative with it, because you can do, for example, this. Oh, I missed it. Okay, let me try again. Okay, I missed it again. I'm on 120 ping, so this is gonna be a bit hard, but the basic I'm probably not gonna land it because I'm on 120 ping, but you get the idea. If you're under like 60 ping, you're gonna be landing this all the time. So what you want to do, launch them up, M1, and then you do one dash, take a little step to the right, like this, like press D once, and then Punisher Drive, and you'll land it. So, and after you land that, let's say, boom, I M1 him, let's just say I land it over here, I land it, then you can follow it up with a double launcher. There's a lot of things you can do. It's super easy. The important thing is getting used to having a couple of combos. After you land that Punisher Drive like this, you can follow it up with another double launcher. If the dummy would stop rage baiting me, you could, obviously. But that is super important. Now, another thing that is insanely important, and I actually struggle a lot with, is your key management. Key management is everything in this game. I'm not gonna lie. If you want to get good at PvP, you gotta manage your key. The reason for that is if you have, let's say you and the other guy is at 50% HP, right? So you've done each other's half health, or you've gotten each other to half health. Player A, which is you, has 0 key now after dealing 50% of his health. Player B, which is the opponent, has still 75% of his key while still dealing half of your health. He will destroy you and win that fight because he can tell when you run out of key. You'll stop using moves, you won't use evasives, and you go out of form, for example. It's really easy to tell when a person is low on key and they're being conservative with their key. It's really easy to tell. Meaning that he can just stun you, go in, and just inf combo super easily, and you'll be dead. Right? That is super important. Be conservative with your key. That is the most important thing to winning fights, is saving your key, because if you run out of key fast, you are going to lose the fight because other people are good at managing their key. I am one of those guys who don't manage my key well. I run out fast. That is another thing for your moveset. Keep in the back of your mind when making a moveset is, how much key does all of this take, right? Will this make it so I can fight a 2-minute fight or a 30-second fight without running out of key? Now, the next thing that is important is obviously your M1s. Now, why are M1s so important? I'll show you why. I'm at half key now. A full M1 string, I'd say, gave me like 10 to 15% of my key back. That's 2 full M1s, 3 full M1s. So 4 full M1s basically gives me 50% of my ki back, which is insane, right? M1s are super important in this game. They do a lot of damage, as you can see, especially if you're in form. Your M1s deal a lot of damage and give you your ki back, which is super important for lasting longer in a fight. Pause. And that is also the most important thing for your ki management and saving ki is by M1ing. You can get another full Punisher drive, for example. So let's say that's a full Punisher drive. 1 full M1 gives me 1 free Punisher drive. That's how you gotta think, right? M1s will give you free access to user moves without wasting any ki. That's how I think about it, at least. Now, the last thing we're gonna go over is races. What races are good in PvP? The most of the races are usable in PvP. I'd say the worst is probably Saiyans, because we got the worst base stats, but we do kind of make up for it with having God Ki and our Super Saiyan God form not running out fast. I mean, you can kind of keep Super Saiyan God infinitely on. If you have it just mastered and doing M1s, you'll probably never run out, which is, I mean, that's a good thing, right? So Saiyans are pretty bad, but the best PvP races out there is probably Majins. That's at least what I find I PvP the best in, is my Majin. Because they have the Gum pistol, they have the absorb, which you can bait them into blocking, and then M2, you know, with the absorb. Like it is, I find Majins the best. You might disagree, but that's at least my opinion. I find them the best. And yeah, that's basically it for the video. I'll show you guys one more thing you can also do here. When you M1, if you get a super fling here, you can go 2 dashes. Okay, this dummy is just rage baiting me at this point. If you get a super fling, you can, oh my god, bro, what is this ping? I hate US servers with my whole heart, bro. If you get a super fling, if you get a super fling like that, you can go 1, 2, step forward or step to the right, and then M2 to follow it up. But yeah, guys, that's basically it for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support you guys have been showing. Make sure to join my Roblox community and buy the Splex shirt. We are building a Splex army on Final Stand. Also join the Discord down below and subscribe as a member if you guys want. You'll get some extra perks, being able to play with me, having contact with me all the time, being in videos and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.